A fire chief and his son decide to hold a child at gunpoint, a teen. Let's put up his picture full mask. That's according to the story. Townsville Fire Chief Billy McAdams. Now remember, this is a whole damn chief, along with his son, allegedly chased two South Carolina teens, held them at gunpoint. The parents of the two teens have now filed a civil lawsuit against the father-son duo after the two men chased down the children, falsely imprisoned minors during the late summer of 2022. The fire chief admitted to pointing his pistol at them and making them lie down on the ground until authorities got there. The chief and his son have since flip-flopped their confession. Let me give you the background. The children were scouting out a couple of goose hunting locations along Lake Hartwell. While driving around, the pair got lost and needed to find a marker to help them get their bearings. That's normative. One of the markers where the two decided to make a turnaround was the driveway of the Townsville Fire Chief, Billy McAdams. McAdams and his son swiftly hopped in their respective trucks and started chasing down the children. They chased the teens from Anderson County to Oconee County. Once in Oconee County, the boys called 911, explaining they were being chased with guns. When the McAdams were able to catch up with the children, the fire chief pulled his weapon out and told them they were being held because they suspiciously went on his property. Court documents say the fire chief admitted to telling the young men to lie down on the road. He also admitted he forced them to prostrate with a gun. The Oconee operator overheard the entire escalation and told the Anderson dispatcher to tell the fire chief to put his gun away. To his dismay, McAdams had already ended the call. According to an incident filed in Oconee County, a judge found probable cause to issue a warrant to the Anderson fire chief. The caveat is that he would also have to issue a warrant to the teens. There's more. The case was eventually closed with no resolution. New information prompted law enforcement to reopen the case, according to Oconee County Sheriff Office spokesperson Jimmy Watt. The criminal case will be investigated by the county's Criminal Investigations Bureau. So let me explain to you what's happening here. It happens a lot in rural communities, small towns. When the narrative says the judge could have sent a warrant out to arrest the fire chief, but he would have also had to send a warrant to arrest the teenagers. That is a classic backyard justice approach. When they say things like, yeah, we can do the right thing here. Yep, we can put a warrant out, that was wrong what he did. But listen, if I put the warrant out, I gotta also do it for the teenagers that were chased. Then all of a sudden, everybody wants things to drop. And so the case went forward and then it stopped. At that point with the judge, when the judge put that out, the case comes to a halt. Because obviously the children did nothing wrong and they don't want to be arrested, especially there, when the fire chief likely knows everybody inside of that jail, okay, that works there. So they drop everything. But here's the reality of the law. The law is very clear. Unintentional trespass is an affirmative defense to criminal trespass allegations. As long as the children did not have a malicious or intentional dynamic connected to them being on the property, it is considered unintentional. So unintentional trespass. The judge does not have to put out a warrant for the teens. The judge can say that's an unintentional trespass. But what the chief and the chief's son did was intentional. See how that works? All right, Jeff, thoughts here.
It's a sad state of affairs where I'm thankful that someone did not get shot by turning around in a driveway, because that could have easily happened. Because back in April, Kaylin Gillis and 3 of her friends were trying to find another friend's house in rural Hebron, New York, when they mistakenly pulled up to the house owned by Kevin Monahan, and he shot and killed someone for this very same thing. It seems like something standard that humans do, but for other people, shooting people who do these things is very standard. So I'm glad humans are alive in this situation. Now, if we could do something about the injustice that's caused by the police, which is another standard thing in this country.
Yeah, and also fire chiefs that want to act like corrupt cops.